Well, guys, you know America is cooked when we're seeing headlines like this. These countries have issued travel advisories for the United States, with an increasing number of foreign visitors facing challenges at the border. Countries including Canada and Germany have updated their travel advisories for the US. Canadian citizen Jasmine Mooney had been traveling between her home country and the US on a work visa for years without issue. But a few weeks ago, she was detained by US border authorities after attempting to renew her documentation at the US-Mexico border. During a 12-day ordeal, she says she was held in cold and crowded jail cells and even put in chains at one point. That's right, guys. Over the last couple weeks, we have been seeing an increasing, staggering number of stories of legal visitors, migrants, and tourists in America being held in jail cells because they're just known to not be from here. Because things are so understaffed, so rushed, and so, I guess, ideologically motivated that the system is completely fucked. And countries are having their citizens who are visiting the US on vacation, for instance, get arrested for not being from America, even though they're there for a legal vacation. And so now, what choice do these countries have but to say, yeah, the US has totally lost it, please don't visit there. We cannot guarantee your safety if you visit the US. American citizens are being held up by U.S. Border Patrol at the U.S.-Mexican border, U.S.-Canada border, getting on U.S.-European flights/boat rides. Dude. I mean, we're all going to suffer for it. It's funny how much Americans thought they were just going to be able to make America worse and it would only be worse for the immigrants, but they don't realize they shot themselves in the foot too. They're part of this country. They don't get to destroy it and not be affected by their actions. That's not how it works. Mooney is just one of the several people who have attempted to travel to the U.S. recently, who have faced challenges at the border, including a researcher who French officials say was denied entry after his phone was searched and immigration officers found messages that were critical of the Trump administration. That's right. Are you visiting the U.S.? Did you get your phone searched while you were entering the country? Were you critical of Trump? Well, guess what? You're getting detained now because they suspect you of terrorism because you don't like Trump. That is actually the standards being enforced in Trump's America. You know that a lot of the rules and standards that these institutions are operating on might not even be public. Trump might have sent orders out to these groups that we don't know about, and they're acting on them. And the people who are being acted on don't have any real way of like, getting their voice heard and getting this out there. Which is why we're just now hearing these stories, despite this having happened, no doubt, since Trump took office and started implementing his immigration policy. Following these incidents, Canada and several European countries have issued travel advisories for the US. While most of the government warnings don't specify why they were added, the timing points of the Trump administration's executive orders regarding immigration and the tightening of border policies. Quote, the whole purpose is to stop illegal immigration, Larry Yu, professor of hospitality management at the George Washington University School of Business, tells Condé Nast Traveler. Quote, but then the executive orders are also tied to other issues like transgender identification, so it actually adds quite a bit of confusion, uncertainty, and concern for the U.S. travel industry. Many of the European countries that have issued U.S. travel warnings have flagged the White House's executive order that states, quote, it is the policy of the United States to recognize two sexes, male and female, potentially causing issues for transgender travelers with self-identified or quote, X gender markers on their passports. Dude, that's true. The U.S. is basically like, it's like Saudi Arabia. You know, like if you're trans, you don't want to visit the U.S. It's like, I don't know what they're going to do to me there. Like, fuck that. You know, well, maybe after next election, we'll see. Maybe not even then. It's crazy how the U.S. is now one of those countries that you just avoid because, like, if you're a certain kind of person, you might just be targeted by the state, if anything. The recent uptick in travel warnings could have a major impact on U.S. tourism. We don't rely on that for our economy at all, though, I'm sure. That won't hurt us at all, right? According to you, as several of the advisories were issued by countries that are top drivers of inbound travel to the U.S., including Canada, the U.K., and Germany. Quote, the image the U.S. has always projected is that we're welcoming and diverse, Yu says. Quote, this will clearly make people think about how they see the U.S. I hope it won't erode their confidence in traveling to the U.S., but it may affect certain demographics. International travel advisories for the U.S. are not entirely new. However, most posted in recent years have been in regard to gun violence. Uruguay and Japan both issued alerts to its citizens. I can't read today because my eyes burn from being tired. To its citizens in the wake of the Dayton, Ohio shooting in 2019. Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs currently lists gun crime as a major public safety concern in the U.S., including safety advice and statistics on the most common locations and timings of shootings. Japan also warns about the high number of hate crimes in the U.S. based on race, sexual orientation, and religion. Dude, even Japan is like, guys, they're so radically, political over there. Be careful if you're, religious or a woman or gay going over there. They might get you, Australia-based small group adventure travel company Intrepid Travel has already started to see some softening in demand for the U.S., in particular from Europe, according to its CEO, James Thornton. Zan, I'm American. Trump is making it hard for citizens to go to U.S. tariffed countries. That sucks for us. We might get put on a list. Dude, this fucking sucks, too, because, so many Americans are going to lose out on opportunities to travel because of this, and that's only going to contribute to their, ignorance, And ignorance is what got us into this problem in the first place, According to its CEO, James Thornton, who notes the U.S. domestic travel, or travel by Americans in America, is down by 27%, and travel to the U.S. from Europe, the Middle East, and Africa is down by 12.8% compared to last year. Quote, this could be due to a number of factors, including the strength of the U.S. dollar, but we believe that the U.S. administration's polarizing approach is definitely having an impact, he says. Intrepid has also seen a slight dip in U.S. inbound travel from Australia and New Zealand. However, Thornton says the U.S. remains a highly desirable travel destination, and notes that most of its current bookings are made about 6 months prior to the current administration. Rachel Kingswell, General Manager of Travel Associates Australia and New Zealand, says the U.S. is still one of its top global destinations, spurred by the desire to visit iconic cities like New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Miami. Destinations including Montana, the Rocky Mountains, and New England are actually on the rise, she adds. Whether or not the recent uptick in travel warnings to the U.S. will cause a significant impact on tourism is still to be seen. Below, we've rounded up the countries that have issued or updated advisories to their citizens regarding U.S. travel so far. America is so cooked now in regards to human rights that the following countries have issued warnings to their citizens about traveling or vacationing here, or certainly attempting to get a visa here, right? All right, we've got France. France joined other European nations issuing a warning the evening of March 24th by revising its foreign ministry's travel advice. Citizens heading to the U.S. are now strongly recommended, quote-unquote, to consult the embassy site and their airlines to check for any changes or new measures adopted. Interesting. I mean, that... France, it honestly makes sense. France is pretty based from what I've heard. I don't think France is doing the big right-wing takeover right now, as far as I know. Let me know in chat if I'm wrong. Is France going left right now, or are they shifting right? I could have sworn they're not on the list of countries that are shifting right. But I could be wrong. I'm not a big Europe guy. Specifically, it notes that those applying for a new visa or electronic system for travel authorization, or ESTA, should be aware of the U.S. presidential decree made on January 20th that requires the indication of sex at birth. Oh man, the anti-trans policies are really gonna set America back in the overall view by the rest of the world. Like we in a very unique way let anti-science win way more than most other countries do. Even some fairly backwards and conservative countries tend to lean a little more on science more than ideology than we do, when we will fully throw science out the window like no other country out there. Like, do any history buffs know whether or not Nazi Germany was more, like, scientifically, like pro-science as a premise than the US is right now? It feels like population-wise and governmentally, we've never, like, the US is so openly anti-science in a way that I don't even think the Nazis were. Because the Nazis were afraid of coming off as stupid. Well, the Nazis were very anti-science. I know they were, but didn't they, like, virtue signal how they were super pro-science? And I feel like they rarely made it obvious. Like with MAGA, it's literally part of their whole brand. But yeah, if any historians want to let me know, I'm curious. Not Hitler ignored his own scientific evidence against eugenics? Okay then, alright. I guess they just have another thing in common. Doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I don't know, it just feels like we're in such a uniquely cooked time as a country. Like, we're really just doing a Nazi Germany, I guess, is really the main takeaway from this. And in both cases, France are against both parties. Well, for a time at least. We'll get them too. Anyway, Canada. Of course, Canada has issued a travel advisory. We've been really rough with them lately. With 20.4 million visits from Canada in 2024, the U.S.'s northern neighbor is its top driver of international visitors. Okay, this music is no doubt very loud because it's the Stormwind part, and it gets real loud. Canadians staying in the U.S. for longer than 30 days will be required to register with the U.S. government. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Hey, any Canadians in America right now? Are you registered? Are you a registered Canadian? Jesus Christ. Gotta make sure you're a registered Canadian. You don't want to get arrested and deported by ICE for being an unregistered Canadian. It's so absurd. The Canadian government has added information to its U.S. travel guidance and the new entry and exit rules, cautioning that failure to register via an I-94 form or the new Form G325R on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, site could result in penalties, fines, and misdemeanor prosecution. On top of that, we've got Denmark. While no Danish citizens have been detained, the Scandinavian country warned transgender travelers on March 20th to take caution while traveling to the U.S. Even though there's no precedent, the current administration has changed registrations specifying there are two genders, and there's a clear concern, or that's a clear concern for the transgender community, you says. Germany as well. Germany first updated its U.S. travel advisory on March 19th to note that its visa and entry waivers don't guarantee entry after several of its citizens were detained. I can't speak today. I can't believe it. Were detained. Germany's Foreign Office also added updates regarding gender identification, stating travelers to the USA must state either male or female on ESTA or visa applications, and that those with an X gender marker or whose gender is different than the assigned at birth should consult with the U.S. diplomatic mission in Germany before crossing the border. And then on top of that, we've got Finland and even the UK, Turf Island itself, the Turf Hive. Even they have issued a travel advisory warning people who are trans not to go to the U.S. at risk of discrimination. Zan, it's literally 1-to-1 with what Nazi Germany did in 1936. Okay, well, I stand corrected then. Thanks for the info, Delancer. I asked for history info, and I did, in fact, receive. Thank you. Anyway, really don't have much to say about this other than I feel very validated. I've said for a while now that Trump is such an embarrassment, he's going to turn America into a world embarrassment, that he is going to turn all of our allies against us and turn us into a laughingstock on the world stage. You know, if Trump destroying America doesn't make Americans less right-wing at the end of all of this, at the very least, it seems like the rest of the world is on track to be made much more progressive at witnessing what America is doing. Maybe we really are going to be the next Roman Empire with this, like, long mythologized and massive and powerful, thought to be impossible to topple empire that just a couple bad leaders and some bad policy and ideology and a couple of other things come together to just cause its downfall, and the whole rest of the world and history learns from our mistakes. That could be our future. Or maybe not. Maybe we will recover from this. It's hard to say. Well, only time can tell. I must say, though, I am hoping that we do recover from this and America does not fall, because I do like this country. But if you also liked this video and found it entertaining, enjoyable, and or educational, then please consider leaving a like and a comment. Every single like or thumbs up in real time boosts my content in the algorithm and pushes it out to more people so that my channel can grow and reach more people and I get more subscribers. It really does help a lot and means so much. It only takes half a second and it's totally free, so please consider hitting that button, comment as well, and if you haven't already and want to see more from me, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms, be sure to follow my social medias linked down below in the description, including, of course, my fan Discord, where I upload gaming, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and movie nights like I'll be doing right after stream tonight. I think we'll be watching the first episode of The Boys. It's going to be a blast, so I hope you guys join me. And I also announce everything there, so you won't miss anything. Make sure you join. Finally, though, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or perhaps even buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.